You know, I'll never have a choice not to buy insulin. I'll always have to pay what they charge. I have to have insulin every second of every day to stay alive. I've calculated up the price of my life. It will cost over $7.5 million just in insulin, just for me to keep me alive till I'm 70 years old.
Insulin is a life or death medication. Between 2002 and 2013, the price of insulin more than tripled to more than $700 per patient. Federal lawsuit accuses the 3 insulin manufacturers of conspiring to raise their prices.
Just coincidentally, it happens that the 3 major suppliers of insulin seem to be raising their prices at the same exact time, at the same level. So I think you have to be very naive not to believe that there is collusion.
Put a critical eye on the pricing history of 2 primary insulin drugs, and you'll notice a pattern. Since 2001, the cost of both drugs has risen simultaneously, making their price history nearly indistinguishable.
At least when it comes to insulin, where the original discoverers, Banning and Best, gave away the insulin patent for $3 so that this wouldn't happen.
In 1923, Frederick Banting, Charles Best, and James Collop, the team that first discovered and refined what is now known as insulin, made a move for the common good. They sold the patent for insulin to the University of Toronto for just $1 each. Much like Jonas Salk, their intent was to let the world benefit from their discovery, stating, "When the details of the method of preparation are published, anyone would be free to prepare the extract, but no one could secure a profitable monopoly." Shortly after, the University of Toronto teamed up with Eli Lilly to mass-produce insulin under a royalty-free agreement. The profits would then be put back into research and development at the university. It wasn't long, however, before drug companies had figured out a way to turn a good profit on insulin. By 1941, Eli Lilly and 2 other pharmaceutical companies were indicted for an alleged insulin price-fixing scheme. It was a charge that Lilly would settle in a no-contest agreement. Sadly, after the development of insulin, Eli Lilly would start to make small adjustments to the research in order to seek their own patents on the drug and completely undermine the intention of the inventors.
Somehow, with really no innovations, the same drug insulin, the prices keep escalating. That makes no sense at all. And yet this diabetes is an illness that we've seen that Americans suffer from, young and old. So what I see is people all over my state, seniors that come up to me and say that they're saving the injectors from their insulin just so they have a few more drops in each tube. That is happening right now. This is the United States of America. Our seniors shouldn't be having to do that.
What's even more shocking, to this day, there are still no low-priced generics on the market. Somehow, these 3 manufacturers have figured out a way to extend their patent lives for nearly a century.
One of the things that is really distasteful is that the big pharmaceutical companies currently pay off generics to keep their products off the market. It's called pay for delay, and it screws people all the time.
But I mean, how long can they keep doing that? Indefinitely?
It's just going to keep escalating. Look, if you're a company in any industry and a monopoly is just put on your lap, you're going to go for it. That's just the fact.
These evergreening techniques are becoming common practice. If there's a loophole, the pharmaceutical industry will find it.
Check out shares of Allergan. They've been rising higher this afternoon on an announcement about patents around one of their big eye drugs, Restasis. Now, this is a bit of a complicated story, but it's absolutely amazing when you really dig into it.
So what they've done, somewhat incredibly, is they've transferred the patent to an Indian tribe in northern New York. And then the tribe is licensing the patent back to Allergan. And then the tribe is arguing that as a sovereign nation, as a sovereign entity, the patent